Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Scott Ramsey from the New York Cider Association, and I am thrilled to be welcoming you to Cider Week in New York City. I'm here today with the owner of Merchant's Daughter Cider, Christine Sisler.
Hi, everybody.
And Sydney Thibault of Tout Le Fromage.
Ooh.
We're going to be having some fun today doing some really delicious pairings with cider and some cheeses. Yeah. And Sydney's going to talk to us about what she does when she is preparing a cheese board, and it's really quite special. So Sydney, do you want to just start off and tell us what cheeses you've made selections around today?
Absolutely. I have two cheeses that I'm really excited to describe here. Two of them are from New York. So this is a cheese from Nettle Meadow. This is a really special triple creme. It's made of 25% cow's milk and then 75% goat milk.
Ooh,
so
wow.
It's got this really rich, buttery, creamy aspect to it.
And in the middle,
delicious.
It is super tangy, a little bit funky, and they have won multiple awards on this cheese. So this is a bloomy rind cheese, which means that,
what does that mean?
It just essentially has a white rind on the outside that's a little bit fuzzy to the touch. It has kind of like mushroom notes in the rind, but you can eat it and it's absolutely wonderful to have with them. So this is another bloomy rind cheese from Cheeseholm Creamery and Farms. This is in Pine Plains, New York.
That's right, at the Taconic.
Yeah, just past Poughkeepsie up on the Taconic.
Nice.
Rory Chase took over the farm in 2007, and there's a big, beautiful barn on there from the 1930s that he totally refitted and made his creamery and his aging cave. So he makes all of the stuff in there.
Right there?
Yeah, and it's amazing. He is somebody who definitely cares about the land a lot. They put attention into the soil and then what grows from the soil and what the cattle and the other animals on that farm eat, and then how the milk tastes afterwards. So this is also another triple creme, again with the bloomy rind. This is a super loose cheese.
What does that mean?
When you cut into it, it just like beautifully kind of loosens up and spills onto the board.
Nice.
It's delicious. It's got a really dense but like bright and light buttery flavor to it. It is amazing. My favorite thing is to just like tear off a piece of bread and swipe into it.
Can't wait.
Oh my gosh,
we're getting to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them are really, really delicious with honeycomb, especially the goat cheese in this one. This one is just like delicate, and that sweetness on the bread is so good.
Nice.
I then have two other cheeses here that kind of serve as main staples on every board that I make. There's a Gouda here that is really good.
But it's such a pretty color.
Absolutely. It always adds like a really beautiful color. This is Beamster Xo. It's aged 26 months, so just over 2 years. And even though it's aged for so long, the milk from Beamster in the Netherlands is so rich and creamy that the cheese actually remains creamy. It's not super dry or brittle or anything like that. It has notes of burnt caramel, some butterscotch.
It's going to pair really well with
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I love to pair this one with either the semi-dry or the dry.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's nice and sharp, and it cuts. It's also, with its aging so long, it forms these crystals on the inside, so you get even like an extra bump of texture in there when you're eating it. There's all these like chewy little amazing crunchiness in there. And similarly, this is Sartori's Montemore cheese. It's a cheddar, but it is so funky. I feel like it's pleasing to everybody.
Nice.
It's this rich, creamy cheddar. It has really fruity notes that come out. You also have some of that crystallization, but my favorite part about it is that the flavor changes while you're eating it. So it starts as this beautiful, normal cheddar that everyone would enjoy. It turns fruity, and then it finishes with a Parmesan flavor.
Wow.
So it's just kind of like an experience, and it pairs with absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic.
Super easy to put that on a board. You really just cannot go wrong with it.
I can't wait to pair the ciders with them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're going to go perfectly.
Oh, we're going to have so much fun. I'm excited about it.
Fantastic.
Great.
Yeah.
So, Christine, while Sydney's getting her meat tray, tell me a little bit about Merchant's Daughter.
Yeah, so, it's such a passion project for me. And so I'm so happy that we're here at 8 Main, which is in Purdy's, New York, which is...
Oh, wow.
Oh, gosh.
Nice.
All right. So I think we need to maybe
Make some room?
Hold on.
Just a little bit.
All right.
This is great.
We don't need too much room here.
That's
beautiful.
So I'll just quickly discuss these meats really quickly for you guys. This is a spicy chorizo, actually made by Chef Dan Sabia, right in New
Chef
York. I
Dan.
think we know Chef Dan.
If you guys
Yeah.
saw the Hudson
Wonderful.
Valley Cider Week,
From
Chef
Cider
Dan was
Yeah,
featured
this is a
in
lamb
Wood Food
chorizo,
Fire.
and it's amazing.
Yes,
amazing.
amazing
And
chef.
then we just have other meats here that you would typically find on a board. We have a bresaola, copa, and then hamon.
Nice, beautiful.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
I'm just gonna start.
And I love
putting
the
these
artistry
things
that you
around.
do with like the little
Thank you.
pansies that you have.
Gotta
You know,
make it beautiful
it is
any chance that you
beautiful,
can,
right?
right?
Yeah, and the
Yes.
Very
honeycomb
thoughtful.
is
It's a treat.
gorgeous.
Oh my gosh!
And we
wait to
can't
put
be
the
remiss
honeycomb.
by, we have to do a shout out to Idlewild Bread.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, Beth is from Idlewild Bread. She makes it in her home.
She does.
She does a wonderful job. It's absolutely the easiest bread to
And
eat.
you guys, it is
It is
delicious,
amazing.
and you have to totally try it.
Amazing how
I'm
quickly it
mouth watering
disappears.
here.
Right,
I know.
right.
I
I
can't
know. I can
wait.
smell it actually still.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
some fresh
Smells
loaves today
incredible.
from Beth. So
So, Sydney, I want to hear more about your process here because I think it's just really stunning.
sure. Thank
So,
you.
Tout Le Fromage is this business that you've recently started,
Yeah.
and I just love the creativity that you put into this. Tell me about
Thank you.
your process and how you're making these choices.
Yeah, so I started just making meat and cheese boards years ago. And I just gathered together some of my favorite snacks, which happen to be meats, cheeses, fruits, vegetables, and some like really special crackers and stuff like that. And it just has kind of like morphed over the last few years. It got to the point where anytime there was a birthday party or a graduation party, they were like, "Don't get me a gift. Please just bring a board." So
Oh, nice.
it's just understood by everyone that when a board is brought to a party, it brings everyone
It's
in,
communal.
Yeah.
and nobody leaves until it's gone.
Yes.
So it is like this quintessential meeting place
Yeah.
where
Definitely.
I've seen relationships form, like friendships. People are trying new things and discussing and chatting, and it's just this like beautiful little meeting location.
I
for
love
people.
that.
That's
So
great.
I love
That's really
to
great.
step back and watch that happen and unfold. But yeah, I've just kind of like gone with it. Like I said, I don't really have a method, but every board that I start is blank, and it's just has so much potential.
And so, Sydney, I imagine that when you're making these decisions, that the people you're actually preparing the board for, or the experience you're preparing the board for, probably informs. Does it inform some of how you lay things out, or what you decide?
Absolutely, and I know I've mentioned wine a couple of times in here, but New York ciders especially are super acidic. In the most delightful way possible, but they make excellent pairings with these things. So it's really fun for people to try a dry cider, a semi-dry like you have,
Right.
Or like a really sweet one that's kind of more of a dessert that will pair well with a tangy cheese,
Nice.
or a dry cider that's going to be more like a champagne or like a prosecco. And it will
Totally.
totally just cut into whatever funky cheese you're having then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so
Fantastic.
visually stimulating too.
Yeah.
And I think as we go into the holiday season,
Oh,
and that's why I think that the New York City Cider Week is, timed so
perfect.
perfectly.
Yeah.
It is.
That, if you can prepare something like this that is so communal,
Mhm.
that brings people together. And I think cider is one of those types of drinks
Mhm.
because it was the beverage of choice, and it was always a bottle that was always on the dinner table. It was always about, sharing a meal with your family and with your friends,
Mhm.
That's an excellent
and
point.
having
That is a great point. Yeah. Absolutely.
conversations and an experience.
Totally.
And this is, wait till you guys see this finished board. It is going to be stunning.
I even get excited about them every
It is-
single
it
time.
is gorgeous.
So I think you guys will be
Yeah.
excited too.
Well, that is the other thing that I've really grown to, I've always sort of appreciated about cider, but grown to appreciate it even more, especially when you think about pairing, is that it's such a collaborative,
Yes.
communal, coming
Totally.
together, celebratory experience.
Mhm.
And that always, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love about the cider industry, and that's what I love about the craft industry altogether,
Mhm.
collectively.
Yeah.
The fact that we know intimately all the people that
Yes.
worked
Absolutely.
tirelessly and effortlessly
And put their heart and soul
to
into it.
Totally.
to put
Yeah.
their heart into
Yep.
this.
Yeah.
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 I appreciate the smaller guy who
Yeah.
who definitely puts intent and purpose.
And then
into
you
the
are like
product.
with a paintbrush. and then you
Exactly.
I'm
put
just
it all out
highlighting it
there
all, right?
so gorgeous.
Everybody else's hard work. I'm
Yes.
just making it look good.
Right. Exactly.
Stunning.
Exactly.
I do not mind being that person. So next, I'm going to go and grab some of these
Great.
delicious fruits that
Perfect.
I hand picked to make sure that they were beautiful.
So another
Excellent.
element.
Yes, another
Yes.
element. We have way more flavor to get
Nice.
before we're done.
Excellent.
I'm gonna add some Brazil nuts over here. Oops, I always lose a couple. And these are like really good for space colors.
Cascading.
Yes, absolutely. And then we're almost ready to just wrap this up. You guys.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
ready?
Very.
I've been ready.
I've been ready for a
Maybe
while.
I've been ready too. I do have just like a.
But it really has
finishing
come
So
together. It's
beautiful.
I think it's worth the wait.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Totally.
And just to
Scott,
think
will
about
you grab
the,
me some of those?
of course, how much?
Thank you. Just a couple with the flowers.
With the
on top,
flowers.
actually, would be great. Thanks.
What's that?
You're so
Yeah,
helpful,
perfect.
Scott.
Thank
Well,
you.
and I think just to think about this board just a few minutes ago was completely blank. And to
Yes.
literally have seen you put it all together
Yeah,
is really special.
love it.
So
I
look,
love it, I
so
love
it's
it.
like the detail.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. I like to just stick
the little.
some little accents in here.
Well, and it's kind of like we've been talking about this whole time about, I find that in the cider community as well in New York State is the attention to detail.
Absolutely.
I mean, really truly across the entire
Definitely.
state. You know, obviously, again, I'm a little biased, but it's so special and there's never,
Yeah.
there's no end to it, to the
There's
discovery.
no end to it.
You know,
It's infinite.
There's just so many people doing so many really special things and their
Absolutely.
hearts and
And you
souls
can
and
you taste
livelihoods
it.
are in
You
it.
taste the
You
difference.
do,
too.
and it's
Absolutely.
really, and
Yeah.
you know, I always say too, you're never that far away from the person who actually handcrafted this
Yes.
beverage for you.
And that's
or
what I love about
this
it too.
beautiful board.
That's what I was drawn to.
I
Yeah.
actually had no
Right?
idea that you were
Yeah.
back here before I came here for the first time, and I've lived in Westchester for like 7 years. I can't believe it's literally next door to me.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's amazing. It's,
Yeah.
it's so fun to explore and just kind of see who's around and
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
up. So
You don't have to go very far.
No, you don't have to go very far.
It's just
Oh,
really
New
some
York.
amazing experiences.
New York is amazing.
It is
It's
amazing.
constantly blowing my mind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So during a time like this that we have found ourselves in, we might not be gathering with all 40 family members around the holidays and
Yeah.
stuff, but this is a really great way to keep the holiday feeling relevant. It's a delicious thing to gather around with the people that you've been close with for the last however many months.
Mhm.
And it just brings another element to the table of just enjoyment and stuff like that. So I'm just going to make up a plate here, but I do want to hear more about how the cider process happens with you guys.
Right. And one thing that I love about Merchant's Daughter, and I love the things that Dan, my partner and my cider maker, does, is that he does approach it like a wine. So it makes a very, very easy transition
Mhm.
into something that was old and now is new again.
Mm.
So for instance, the dry is going to go great with the fatty cheeses.
Yes.
I think that the semi-dry is still going to use that bright citrusy notes, and it's going to pair lovely with pretty much everything on the board. And then our Clara's Reserve, which is our sweet, is
So
going to go
sweet.
great with like the spicier type of meats and stuff.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's something for everybody. Just like there's something for everybody in this board, I think that we also provide something for everybody in our ciders, as does
Absolutely.
all of, I think, truly, New York State cider
Yes.
is the best,
Yeah.
if I do say so myself.
Yes.
And I'm so proud to be part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I don't
truly.
think you're wrong about that at all.
So how are you this looks amazing.
I just want everything.
It doesn't,
that's on top
everything
of
should
this
be
board.
I know.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of going around and picking up like little samples of things.
So what would you recommend I do? I want to try the honeycomb because I've never had that
Okay,
before.
so
So
I'm
what would
so
you
glad
recommend
you
I cook
asked
that with?
that. This cracker is delicious. It's
Okay.
a little bit sweet and cinnamon.
Okay.
But with this tangy goat cheese, I like to just take a nice chunk with the rind.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
then,
And then the dry cider, I think it's going to be
Yes.
so palate
Perfect.
cleansing.
and then if you just
with
take
it.
Yeah.
a chunk of this honeycomb,
Yeah.
look how beautiful this is.
Wow.
Scott, this is a first.
I mean, come on.
I am
I mean,
so
This is
this
excited
is,
for
we have
you.
to, I'm so glad we're filming this. It's a first for
Yes.
Scott.
Incredible.
Oh,
Delicious.
that is gorgeous.
And definitely try some
Ready?
of these
Mhm.
blueberries with it
Okay.
in your bite
Ready?
afterwards.
Whoop.
It's an experience. It's so
It's
delicious.
gorgeous. How is
You
it?
need one too, Kristen.
Tell us. I'll take one.
You definitely do.
I know. Scott put the whole cracker in his
I
mouth.
know. He's still experiencing.
There is so much going on right now. It is.
Yes. It is. It is.
Phenomenal.
Is there a party in your
Oh.
going on right now?
We can hope so.
Wow.
How good is that?
Yeah.
You get all those round textures and flavors and
Well, and it's just like with
like
the
a marriage
with the
in there.
cider. I mean,
Yeah.
it just like
Opens
it's
It
like a
explodes.
giant megaphone to
Yeah.
all of those
Oh, I
incredible
love that.
flavors.
Like it amplifies the
Yeah,
flavor.
Yes.
it totally does.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's all of it.
delicious.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Try that
I
too.
know, but I'm gonna be more dainty
Are you?
than Scott.
You don't have to be. She's not going to be dainty. when
Scott
we
and
turn the
devoured
camera
it
off.
like.
Well, you know. I can't help it.
I would not be able to either.
Oh
So
my
I'm just gonna
God.
continue.
Oh
like,
wow, that
so
is
good.
delicious.
It's actually kind of fun when you're making
Unbelievable.
up one of these plates. You
Mm-hmm.
get to actually just like make your own
Oh,
little cheese board on your
Sydney,
own little thing.
really?
Yeah, it's
It is-
delicious. So
Guys, I know.
Amazing.
I wish it was like smell-o-vision television.
Yes. Wow.
This is so good.
it
It's
is. It's
exceptional.
Yeah.
delicious. So it's fun to be presented with one of these boards and then just kind of choose whatever you want on there.
Right.
These
Wow.
beautiful gooseberries are
Mm.
super big
Wow.
and ripe right now.
That is good.
So we have this beautiful spread in front of us, but it's also really fun that when it is time to eat, you get to kind of make your own little
Yeah.
cheese board on top of your plate.
It's gorgeous.
So I think we should dig into that pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Yes, let's
Yeah.
do that.
It's
Absolutely.
like this is like a little mini version of that.
Oh,
it's
so it's
stunning.
perfect.
And you
I
get
can't wait
do
to
it
prepare my
yourself.
own.
Absolutely. It's fun.
Before
Yeah.
we do, let's actually, Tim, come in.
Yeah, come on in, Tim.
I want to introduce you from Salinger Orchard. And tell us a little bit about This is where the honeycomb came from. right?
Yeah.
Honey, some of the apples. We have about 23 varieties of New York State grown apples right here in northern Westchester in the Hudson Valley. Farming since 1901, so I'm proud to be fourth generation.
Nice.
And I love what New York is doing with hard cider, and happy to be here with Merchant's
Yeah.
Daughter and
Excellent.
Tout Le Fromage, and here to enjoy some beautiful cider.
And do you have a website we can learn more?
We do. We are at salingersorchard.com.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
Sydney, Thibault, shout out to you and Tout Le Fromage.
Thank you.
Where can we learn more about you?
I have a website too. It's toutleFromage.com, but primarily Instagram has been one of my platforms that I've been reaching out to people and updating my followers and fans and subscribers. So I think it's a really interactive platform to use. So
Fantastic.
it's just at Tout Le Fromage.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And Christine, Merchant's Daughter.
Well, Merchant's Daughter, you can find us throughout the Hudson Valley. But for our Manhattanites that are tuning in today, you can totally find us on edibledoorstep.com, which is an online program where you can find pretty much a lot of the things that you're seeing today through their website. Additionally, at merchantsdaughter.com, you can always find us there. So, yeah,
Fantastic. Well,
perfect.
we're going to dive into this. I wish you were here with us. I just want to give a shout out to the New York Cider Association.
Totally.
You can learn more about that at www.newyorkciderassociation.com, or you can go to ciderweeknyc.com and find out all the things that have been going on and are going on for Cider Weeks all across the state. All of our programming is also
Definitely.
available on our YouTube channel at New York Cider Association TV. So lots of programming. We're going to dive into this. Thanks so much for joining us. Cheers.
Yeah.
Happy
Cheers.
Cider Week,
Thank you
everybody.
for having
Happy
us.
Cider
Thank you
Week.
very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cider Week New York City is brought to you by the New York Cider Association and is made possible by the generous support of these sponsors and by the support of our official Cider Week New York City participants. Join us at NewYorkCiderAssociation.com.